here we are talking about the math project, What Doesn't Belong. Okay, sorry that we didn't have audio before. So here we have the heart, triangle, this triangle and rectangle, and this 12-sided shape. So you're going to do something that is similar to this, but not exactly like this. So your child's going to come up with 4 different shapes and make a reason why each shape does not belong with each other. So for example, I'm going to write A, B, C, D here because with the A, B, C, it's going to help me. Let me double check my. Okay, it seems like it's working. So as I was saying, I'm labeling each of these boxes A, B, C, D. So this way, when you write it out, your reasons why each one doesn't belong, I know which shape you're referring to. So like if you look at A, this is a heart, right? So why does this heart does not belong to the star, this arrow or house shape, or letter D, like with the 12 sides and vertices? Well, this is the only shape that is curved, right? And it has 2 vertices. These other shapes have no curves. So that could be something that your child will write, and you will write it in your math book. You will write it, the topic, the math project, what doesn't belong, and in your math book, you're going to write the heart doesn't belong because it has, it is the only shape that does not have a side, so it's only curved. And then you're going to write that it has 2 vertices and 2 curved shapes. Now let's look at B, right? And we said B was the star here. So why does the star doesn't belong? So if we look at the star, that this is the only shape that does not have this thick red line around it, right? You see that all these other shapes has this thick red line. So one of the reasons you could say is that this star doesn't belong because it doesn't have that thick red line. And then you're going to write it back into your notebook. And when you write it back in your notebook, you're also going to write how many vertices are there and how many sides are there, okay? Oops. Right? You're going to write all of that. Now let's look at C. C, why this shape does not belong. This is the only shape that has 2 shapes with red line borders compared to the other 3 shapes here, right? And we see there's a triangle and a rectangle together. So you could write that down in your notebook for letter C. I made a lot of mistakes when I write, and then, like we correct that. And then once you write that down, then you write down how many vertices and sides there are. And then you're going to, lastly, you're going to do for the last shape, D. Why D does not belong, right? So let's look back at D. D almost looks like a circle, but it's not a circle. It's not round. It has 12 sides and 12 vertices. That's why it kind of looks round. The more sides it has in vertices and it looks circular, it does look roundish, but it's not. So you're going to write that down. And you also could write down that it's the only shape that does not have a color. You see, all these other shapes have a color. This one's not colored in. And that's why it doesn't belong. So what you're going to do is that instead of using these 4 shapes, you're going to come up with your own 4 shapes. You're going to draw it out on one paper, and then you're going to upload that. And then on the second paper, you're going to write your reasons, and you're going to upload that. And then sometime next week, we're going to share the picture side, and then all of your friends are going to guess what you wrote or what they think it is. Okay? If you have any questions, you could email me. I'll extend the due date for this. Thank you for your patience.